Let's talk about the AI arms race. Seriously, what if I told you that right now we are smack in the middle of a tech gold rush, bigger than anything we've seen since the invention of the internet? It's a high-stakes game where companies are pouring billions, literally billions of dollars, into building the world's most powerful AI. So in this explainer, we're going to cut through all the noise, map out the battlefield, and try to figure out who's actually leading the pack. You've got a handful of tech giants, the big names, and then this whole swarm of scrappy startups all fighting for the exact same crown. But here's the thing. This isn't a race for oil or diamonds or physical gold. Nope. The prize this time is intelligence itself. And the weapon of choice? These things called large language models, or LLMs. The race is officially on to see who can build the smartest, fastest, and, let's be real, the most useful AI first.
Okay, but before we can even think about crowning a champion, we need to know the rules of the game, right? How do you even grade an AI? It's not just about which one is the smartest. It's way more complicated than that.
So we break it down into 4 key pillars. First up, you've got reasoning. Think of this as its raw IQ. How well does it solve really tricky logic puzzles? Second is speed. How fast you get an answer. That's latency, and it's absolutely crucial for anyone building apps on top of this stuff. Third, and this is a big one, is cost. Is it affordable? Because a model that nobody can actually afford to use is, well, it's useless. And finally, versatility. What can it actually do? Is it just a chatbot, or can it see, hear, browse the web, and even write code? So with that framework in mind, let's meet the contenders.
All right, let's start with the big dogs, the companies that are really setting the pace for the whole industry. These are the models you've definitely heard of, and for very good reason. In the top spot, at least for now, we've still got OpenAI. Their latest model, GPT-4o, and that O stands for Omni, is an absolute game changer.
What makes this thing so special is just how much it can do. It's not just a text bot anymore. No, this thing is designed to be a real digital assistant. It can literally see your screen, it can understand the tone of your voice, and on top of all that, it's incredibly fast. It's the complete package, and it's the one everyone else is trying to beat.
But breathing right down OpenAI's neck is Google with its Gemini family. Now, they had a bit of a bumpy start, you might remember, but their Gemini 1.5 Pro model has really stepped up and is now a super serious contender. So, Gemini's killer feature? It's what's called the context window, and it is massive. Think about what this means. You can upload entire code bases, whole books, hours of video, and it can process and remember all of it. This makes it just a beast for deep analysis of huge amounts of information, something that would make most other models just fall over. It really is the context king.
And then you have the third major player, Anthropic. Their latest model, Claude 3.5 Sonnet, is kind of playing a different game. If OpenAI and Google are trying to be the all-around athletes, Claude is the specialist. People often describe Claude as being more, thoughtful. It's fantastic at jobs that need a little nuance, things like creative writing or summarizing complex legal documents without losing all the subtle details. It's also known for being safer and less likely to just make stuff up, what we call hallucinating. That makes it the go-to when you need a gentle, really precise touch.
But hold on, the story doesn't end with the big 3. Not even close. In fact, some of the most exciting stuff is happening in the disruptor category, where a whole different philosophy is shaking things up.
And this brings us to a really important split in the AI world, closed versus open. The giants we just talked about, they all run closed models. They're basically proprietary black boxes. But there's this powerful movement for open weight models, and it's being led by Meta with their model Llama 3. These models are free for anyone to download, to tweak, to run, and to build on top of. And that is just fueling a massive wave of innovation from the community. And then you have the true wild card, Grok from xAI. This model is, by design, completely different from the rest of the pack. Grok's whole identity is built around its personality and its unique data source. It has real-time access to the entire fire hose of information on the X platform, so it can give you answers that are totally up to the minute, often pretty witty, and sometimes, a little bit rebellious in a way that other models just can't. It's carved out a very specific and very dedicated niche for itself. So, we've met the players. We've got the established champions, the open-source powerhouses, and the rebellious wildcards. The big question is, how do they all stack up against each other, right here, right now?
All right, let's bring it all together. It's time to populate our leaderboard based on those 4 pillars we talked about: reasoning, speed, cost, and versatility.
And here it is, the scoreboard as it stands today. Let's break this down. As you can see, GPT-4o is holding onto that top spot as the all-round champion, thanks to that perfect 10 in versatility. Right there with it, Google's Gemini is the context king, fantastic reasoning and versatility scores. Anthropic's Claude, the nuanced specialist, actually matches them on raw reasoning but really shines in its own lane. Now, check out Meta's Llama 3, the people's powerhouse. See that perfect 10 on cost? That makes it insanely accessible to everyone. And finally, Grok is holding its own as the rebellious niche player with great speed and that one-of-a-kind personality. But, and this is a huge but, remember, this is just a snapshot. A new update tomorrow could completely reshuffle this entire board. That's how fast things are moving.
So where does the race go from here? Well, the battlefield is already shifting. The next big breakthroughs are going to happen on 3 main fronts. First, multimodality. We're talking about AIs that can seamlessly understand text, audio, and video all at the same time. Second, efficiency and cost. The race is on to make these models 100 times cheaper and faster to run. And maybe the biggest leap of all, real-world integration. This is about going beyond just a chatbot to an AI agent that can actually do things for you out there in the digital world.
Look, this landscape is chaotic, it's thrilling, and it is changing by the minute. But what this race really shows us is that there is no single best AI. So, at the end of the day, the real question isn't who's winning the overall arms race. The question is, which one of these incredibly powerful tools is the best one for you and for the job you need to get done?